All right, we should be live. A quick second, hit some intro music. All right, welcome everybody to what's up, Pippi? Nice to have you here. Welcome to the MLH Comment Show for the 9th of August. Brenda Baldoff, welcome to you. Happy Saturday to you, Fuzzy. Welcome everybody in. I'll give people a few minutes to filter on in and get ready for today. Let me do something here. Let me get the comments up already. The J Love, good afternoon. Nice to have you here. Um, let's see here. Let me get those comments up and running for you all. Pluck, welcome. Nice to have you here. Let's uh let's share on in these comments, get started. Um, I gotta get the comments on my your comments on my phone here. Bear with me. One man studio. Gotta love it. Welcome on in, everybody. I'm glad you guys are all here, guys and gals. And let me pause this so we don't have an inception thing going on here. Okay. Let's what's up, Rich? Nice to have you here. Welcome on in, everybody that's gonna be joining the comment show today. Um, okay, so let's start at the bottom here with Barbara's comment on my I don't know how this filtered through and didn't get talked about last week, but should I go live? Comment says yes, go live. Thumbs up. Appreciate the comment, Barbara. Let's continue on. I am going to address some stuff today, so bear with me. I know there's a lot going on, and oh man, there's a lot of stuff to be said, but I will say it when I get to some of those comments. So let's continue on here. SJ says, "Oh, I missed the live on the last comment show. It's all good. Not a problem. I appreciate the replay crew." Paige says, "Sending you retrieval energy to find your wallet," because I had mentioned that I lost my wallet. Luckily, hey, welcome, Jay Bat. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Um, um, I did lose my wallet, but luckily I got all my credit cards back. Somebody was kind enough to bring the credit cards and my ID back. The most hassle would have been the ID, but I did get it back. I didn't there was a couple of things, minor things missing, no big deal. But I did get everything back. But I did cancel the major credit cards so that way there would have been no, getting that information. Nanya, welcome to you. Nice to have you here. Thank you. Paige says, general fuzzy energy of appreciation for being funny without being mean. It's hard to explain unless you've been around comics, but they fall into two groups. Those who get joy from making others happy, and those who are so angry they turn their rage into jokes. You are definitely the former, while several notables who have brought your community together are the latter. You're the best sort of leader, reluctant, unsure of your abilities, always asking for consensus and input. That's what makes you honorable and up to the task. We're going to talk about honor in a bit, Paige. I do appreciate the compliment. That's one of the best compliments I've ever gotten on the comment show. I'm posting this publicly instead of emailing because I want everyone who sees in you what I do to like this, you to read it next week and to see how ridiculous any hater refutations will sound. You are a huge asset to YouTube activism and positive mental health. This post is very small, nod to your own, and a very big thank you. I appreciate that, Paige. That was an excellent comment. Um, and I'm happy that you're part of the Monster Squad. I really appreciate it. Um, Carrie Ann, welcome. Nice to have you here. Moses, welcome. McT, what's up, buddy? Marth Mudang. Okay, let's continue on. Anna from Canada says, often wonder, replay crew, I often wonder how much Chumley spends in gas in his old POS porta potty. Seems like he drives hours and hours every day. It must be a gas guzzler. We discussed this on DT, Anna. I know you were in there. Um, he probably gets 10 miles to the gallon or less in that old ass RV of his. I can't imagine. Um, I mean, his Social Security grannies are definitely giving him enough money to keep him going, though. So there is that. Keeper says, "Can we talk about Bernie? We could talk about Bernie any day of the week." Keeper. Elron Oyabembe, DOA last month. This is why the needle is so important. Proceeds to give an hour-long paranoid diatribe about how the needle is the equivalent to a homicide. DOA yesterday. So what? The needle doesn't even matter. Doesn't mean anything. I'm glad you caught that, Elron. I'm glad you caught that because he's a walking contradiction. One minute he can say one thing, and the next minute he can say something else. Dave Harris, welcome. Danny, welcome. Solomon, what's up, my dude? Nice to have you here, buddy. Um, I don't think I'm missing anybody. If I did, my wonderful mods will definitely welcome you on in. Yeah, exactly, Elron. I mean, he's a walking contradiction. Thank you for the comment. I really appreciate it. Newfie says awesome. With my announcement of the Boss Talks interview. Um, it was great. Scott from NYC Newfie, they don't want you there. Well, I mean, people are free to go wherever they want. It's up to the channel owner who, happens to be in this case. As long as you're not attacking someone else in my chat, or me, or panelist, or whatever, you are welcome here. Even the haters, as long as you behave, at least in this chat. You can do whatever you want everywhere else, right? Uh, Blue Ridge Hiker says that's great on the interview announcement. Thank you for being a Monster Squad member, Blue Ridge Hiker. JBat, LFG, let's fucking go. Thank you, JBat. Appreciate the comment. Keeper says, of course, Bernie's the boss and the bomb. Well, that's kind of true, you know. Chris says, I'll be there on the same post. Appreciate that, Chris. You were there. Neutrally Neutral has a great comment here. The needle was a lie, a straight up lie fabricated to manipulate the situation and control who is good and bad according to him and him alone. It's a good point, Naturally Neutral, and it actually applies elsewhere. Um, yeah. Um, I don't know who he is, Veronica, but good morning to you. Nice to have you here. Kim Wexler's ponytail. Welcome. Nice to have you here. All right, let's continue on. I'll talk about that in a minute, Kim Wexler, about what happened with the felonies, etc. Let's continue with this comment. Even if it was just for clicks and views to create drama and draw good attention to himself and bad attention towards Becky, who proved to be an instantly popular with everyone, considering she didn't even have a YouTube channel. She was well liked, loved, and respected, gaining a fan base and popularity from the get-go. If he did just to do it for clicks and views, it shows him in a despicable light because that means he didn't care how much harm and damage it caused for Becky. He just cared about how much attention and money he got from it. Rabbit did a great job of exposing the lie and the timeline of how it all went down. She not only exposed Scott's lie about the needle, but Laura FM's lie about the needle as well. They both changed their version of the events and could not keep their story straight and could not collaborate, or I think the word you're looking for is could not coordinate the stories with each other. Corroborate. That's what you meant, not collaborate. Corroborate. The needle went from not existing to existing in multiple different forms, then back to not existing at all. just like Scott's version of whether he approved the needles being handed out or didn't approve them being handed out, whether he knew they were being handed out or didn't know they were being handed out, whether they were a good idea, his idea, or bad idea, Becky's idea, whether Becky was a harm reduction specialist or not a harm reduction specialist, excuse me, whether she is trained and doesn't need to be, or she isn't trained and needs to be, he can't make up his mind and stick to the same story. For F's sake, pick one version of the story and stick to it, Scott, and preferably pick the truth because it doesn't change, unlike fabricated stories as we have seen. Well done, Rabbit, for putting it all into a timeline and perspective for all of us. We love your great work. Keep it up. I hope you mean us too. But good points here all the way around. Um, the truth, as they say, will set you free. And we're going to talk about truth in a little bit. Beachcomber, welcome. Nice to have you here. Flea, welcome. Dougie, nice to have you here as well. Mrs. J, thank you for being a Monster Squad member. All my members, thank you for being Monster Squad members. I'm going to be changing the little emojis to bigger ones hopefully really soon, maybe right after this stream. I didn't have enough time, been, yeah, as always, busy. um okay, let's continue on. Boxer Heather says cool, thank you very much. Boxer Heather. L Ron Rib Guy says awesome, dude. Thank you very much, L Ron, appreciate that. Flea Bottomist, our lovely Flea, who's in chat, says, if you have any survivor stories you'd like to share, please email me at my email address, MexicanLonghair@gmail.com, and let us know which one of the crew you'd like to read your story. You could even remain anonymous if you would like. I do have a couple of stories that I will be handling next week. Well, one story and one comment that I need to go over on Monday. So hope you guys tune in. I hope you guys tune in for that. Linda Wilson. Um, hey there. Nice to have you here. I, I like that comment, Linda. Don't worry, you are safe here. This chat is completely safe. Speaking of Linda Wilson, she says, great, but don't let him bring up the Kendrick crap. That will last forever. Kendrick has nothing to do with Scott. Yeah, they're two kind of separate things. And I thought we did pretty well, Linda. I hope you were proud of that interview as much as I was. Keeper says we wanted to talk about Bernie. Okay. All right, Keeper. All right. Let's see here. Okay, this was where am I starting here? Oh, Southern Sleuth says, yes, it was truly disgusting and disturbing what Josiah was saying to Becky. He has no regard for other people's feelings or himself. He embarrassed himself. He has no right to degrade others when he has many things he needs to fix in himself. He's a complete hypocrite, making fun of someone's weight, then going over to hang around with several people who are overweight, including his deplorable friend Scott. Does he say those horribly vile things to them too? I bet not. It's abhorrent to personally attack someone, especially on their weight. I guarantee the ladies with him were offended by the fat shaming he was saying to Becky. Scott and the others not calling him down for that makes them just as guilty and repugnant. We have to be not we have to not be cruel to Scott or his fans either, because we should set the better example of what being responsible and respectful humans should be like. We shouldn't criticize him on his weight or other things and only criticize him on his mistakes and abusive behavior. Scott is the worst role model for Josiah. Scott will only make him worse. They will both turn on each other eventually. I agree with most of that. Scott is an exception to the rule, though. Southern Sleuth. I normally never um, would never body shame somebody, but he is pure evil. I've seen his pure evil in full effect, and I want nothing to do with his pure evil. And I will call it out. And I think all things are on the table when it comes to him because of his deplorability and his truly disgusting and disturbing behavior, as you pointed out in Josiah, which I agree. I really wish Becky would have just simply said, um, "Leave me alone. I don't want to be harassed," and walked away. I think that might have curbed that whole thing. But it was unfortunate, and I don't approve of that. And I know sometimes on DT we get a little overzealous, especially me when it comes to Chumley. But Chumley is definitely the exception to the rule. Um, okay. Josiah was stalking Becky at lunch. I asked him if he was going to be arrested today. He never answered, but ended his stream right after that. 100% he saw what I said. Let me go to all these replies. Buttercup with some emojis. Club Brain Fog. I saw that too. Can't wait till I can walk to go down and hang out. Denise says, H says, he must have put them on private. I just checked his channel. Only the one he did this morning before harassing Becky was public. See, that's what guilty people do. Yeah, he did, Becky. Anna from Canada. Josiah was horrific to Becky. He also said rib guy. The way he talked to Becky was disgusting. Denise says, "I wish Becky would leave her camera on filming when anyone like that is around, even if it's a crappy video. With the sound, it would be helpful." I agree with you, Denise. NJS says, "Yes, that was disturbing," and I agree. Okay, let's move on. Next comment. Bloomy Bloom Bloom says, "Replay crew, thank you very much for being on the replay crew, Bloomy. I will hold space for her. I too have PTSD, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy." Bloomy says. I feel you, Bloomy, and it's hard to read these stories for myself. But Alan B, what's up, buddy? Nice to have you in here. Um, let's see. Did I miss anybody? Worst role model, Flea says. Snot's just a role. Bloop 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 bloop. I love that. Auditing live with the emojis. Thank you very much. Linda Wilson with another comment here. Why don't people know court takes time? Today was probable cause. Nobody goes to jail. It's showing the evidence to proceed with the case. Sorry, I don't want to make people feel stupid. It moves on and on and on. There was a slight chance of jail, Linda, because he's broken his bond. I don't know why they're messing around on that, but I think it's because of the good news that we got on Friday. But I'll talk about that in a minute. CSA Shannon says, "Poor kid." The Karen in the Wild video that I did a long time ago. Yeah, it's thank you for being a member. Naturally Neutral with another comment here says, "Does anyone know if anything has changed in regards to his restrictions, such as the ankle monitor, travel restrictions, and names he can't mention?" Reason I'm asking is not only did he mention Becky's name. Okay, let me stop you right there. Becky wasn't part of the gag order because Becky didn't want to give her personal information, which, I mean, she says over and over that Sandra has her personal information. I mean, it's a choice that Becky can either make or not. She's her own person. So I'll leave it at that. I hate how YouTube doesn't notify me until minutes after you've started. Get your shit together, YouTube. I know, David. I'm sorry for that. YouTube is just YouTube. King Bluto, welcome. Nice to have you here, buddy. Um, yes, Paige. I you had a great comment, and thanks for being in here, Paige. Um, okay. Um, let's see. Let's continue with this. So none of the restrictions have changed. He's still got an ankle monitor. He still has to stay in the state of California. The only people that he can't talk about are Tanya and Rib Guy. And that's it. Um, but he's already broken that a couple of times, and so I mean, it is what it is. I can't force the DA to do anything. Yeah, I got that. Okay. Said he was peeking around for 3 days. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, so Becky's not included in the gag order. But thank you for the comment. Naturally Neutral. I mean, he's a disgusting pig. That's what he is. Let's just be real. Afila says lots of love to that woman and to the panel. An important episode. Dougie almost made it through without any sexism, but then he had to go and ruin it at the end. I have no idea what you're referring to, Afila. I mean, I mean, you know, uh, I mean, I understand. It's hard to navigate a world of comedy and not have a little humor that you know dips its toes into whether it's fat shaming or prejudice or things of that nature. It's just the times have changed. Afila. Benetti says replay crew. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. SJ with the duck emojis. We know why that that was brought up. I should show you guys that in a minute. Work got in my way. Truth will set you free. Says so. I missed your live, but here for the replay. Thank you for being on the replay crew. Truth, it matters. Lead me to bliss says he's just stacking money and gifts. People buy his weed, his gas money, his phones, his van tires, his sandals, his dinners, and he's driving around LA in a 77 RV bought by his supporters, which, by the way, doesn't belong to him. Lead me. I don't know if you knew that. Scott is very frugal with his money, from what I have observed. He doesn't want to spend any money, and if he has to, it's probably a huge bummer for him. I do have to give Scott credit, though, for traveling around the country in an old ass Dodge Astro van, and now he's driving a 77 RV. That does take a lot of courage. Scott is wealthy with friends, like he always says, so there's always someone there to bail him out. I don't think he's wealthy with friends. I'm going to correct that. Lead me. He says that he's wealthy with uneasy alliances. Contemplate that for a few. Boss talks with the laughing emojis. Thank you very much. Truth will set you free says I saw his stream in the wee hours, and he just finished showing his stash proceeds of quote gifts of weed he got from his supporters. It would have been iconic if the police actually knocked on his car door. I'm saying he totally ducked too, as if I'm not home, because I think his foot hit the tripod and made the camera angle go up. Oh, trust me, it was bad. El Ron says replay crew representing. A shout out to the replay crew. Um, let's see. Flea says he said the first time he grifted for lawyer fees, it was 10,000 a charge. Now he says he needs 60K. What happened to the first round of donos you supposedly paid your lawyer with? That's a good question there. Good question. Vinegar deodorant isn't cheap, Kim Wexler. I know, right? Lone Dinosaur says, I missed the live, but I'm here now. Looking forward to this. Thank you very much, Lone Dinosaur. Boss Talks, thanks for having me on, MLH and crew. Thank you for coming on, Boss Talks. Make sure you check out Boss Talks podcast. A very candid interview that I did with Boss Talks. I really liked it. Truth with said great interview, and Hot Mess said good job. Thank you, Hot Mess Summer. Lone Dinosaur says, I was always side eyeing the idea that Scott is an informant because he seems too dumb and unimportant. But the more Boss Talks compares it to the 60s and 70s, I can see how he could be a useful idiot to the powers that be. I don't get how it relates to his involvement in Scientology, though, and I don't get what he gets out of it. Money? None of his crimes seem serious enough to cut a deal like that, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards believing it now. The government is insidious, and DOA seems to lack a conscience, and he's quote unquote good at what he does, seems to be sabotaging real movements. Actually, now I can even see a Scientology connection. I'm full on conspiracy theory in a rabbit hole now. Lone Dinosaur, it runs deep. I don't have time in the rest of this entire beautiful day to go over some of those rabbit holes, but you could be right, Lone Dinosaur. I've contemplated these things myself. Nompic Scott says he's a great friend, spends a lot of time with them. Who's Nompic talking about? Nompic, welcome. Wealthy with money from friends who don't know the difference of what a friend truly is. I agree. Pippi says he's going to need a lot more than 60K. I agree. Gina, welcome. Nice to have you here. Um, Marina, welcome. Thank you for being a Monster Squad member. Really appreciate that. Beachcomber, I don't know if I said hi. I think I did fix the emojis, by the way, guys. We got the duck sirens. And we also got the shit stain on the family name crest for Scott have been corrected as well. Shout out to JBat actually helped me with that. So I really appreciate that. Iris Those are Red Mama's kids, not Reds. He was teamed up with DOA at Bunker Hill along with his wife, Mel. Thank you for adding that, Iris. Lone Dinosaur says he is so boring. I don't understand why anyone watches. That's a mystery. This is something that I've touched on DT before. People will send me clips, or I'll see clips from other channels, and he is extremely boring, y'all. I mean, there was one time where I was watching. It was probably a 30-minute clip, and I did it in 2 times because I can't stand watching. At most 15 minutes is my limit. But this entire clip was about 20 minutes of staring at a ceiling. There was another one where you stared at a wall. I mean, it was just hard to even stomach. Pippi says he should not even use an attorney. He can do it by himself. After all, if Daryl Brooks can, Scott can. I agree. Totally agree. Uh, Dougie, that's not happening. I don't know why you even asked. That's just not happening. Look at the Manson family, Gina says. Same premise. It's why I call them the Manson girls. Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple of pictures in regards to that, Gina. Uh yeah, it's not gonna happen. No cast changes from here on out, folks. His loyal followers are only interested in the drama. The rest is just fluff to them. Yep. Uh, put a one in the chat if you want Dougie to shut the fuck up and be funny. Yeah, that's more like it. How about that? There you go. All right. Um, Here's naturally neutral with another comment. Why get a professional to work on your RV when you're doing it yourself takes 10 times longer and gives you content that captivates the attention of your elite chat, not to mention it enables more grifting time. Yeah, I thought about that. Kim A says just looked and 4 hours later still working on a radiator hose, LMAO. Um Scott is not stupid or ignorant to this, okay? And I agree with you, naturally neutral, as I'm walking around the studio here. Um, it would take even somebody as inept at mechanics like me wouldn't take that long to put together a radiator hose for any vehicle. I can imagine, except maybe something that's a little more complicated where you have to move certain hoses or fans or whatever. I can't imagine it wouldn't have taken me but an hour if that's all I was interested in. So you're on to something there, naturally neutral. He's definitely a grifter, a con artist, if you will. And his elite chat doesn't care because they have these either sexual fantasies about that pig or they have fantasies of being his mommy and taking care of him. It's the only rational explanation for why they support such a indecent, disgusting, vile human being, a non-human being. All right, Joko, welcome. Nice to have you here. Um, let's continue on. Brandon says the live with Boss Talks was great. I listened to it as I was driving down the road. Thank you very much, Brandon. I appreciate that. Still Sassy says replay crew. I really enjoyed the interview. Great job to you both. Thank you, Still Sassy. Appreciate that. Ham It Up says, I think the real Axl Rose was actually in your chat and used his own name, Axl Rose, because nobody would ever think it's actually him. Axl Rose is a fan of MLH. I declare it here. MLH, your laugh makes me laugh, even if I don't know what you're talking about. Keep on keeping on. Thank you very much, Hammy. I really appreciate that. Hammy continues. Ooh la la, boss talk, sexy voice. Don't be scared, dude. I flirt with everybody. Well, there you go. Lady J with the emojis. Thank you very much. LA Deb, the great mod from Streets, stopped on by, says, great replay crew, great interview. Thank you very much, LA Deb. Appreciate the comment. Paige, who's in chat, says, Alonzo and Thomas Moo Anderson have decided to go after Rib Guy and Becky as agents of Moxon. Well, kind of speaks for itself, does it not? Alonzo has no credibility. Gina says, I love this channel. You make me giggle. Thank you very much, Gina. I appreciate that. Thank you for being part of the Monster Squad. Laura Vladi, welcome. Nice to have you here. Um, Vintage Mama of Three, welcome. Ingrid, welcome. Nice to have you here. Sin, welcome. Damn, a lot of people in here. I appreciate it. Bloomy Bloom Bloom says, "Oh my goodness! I hope this is so freeing and healing for these survivors, giving them anonymity to stand up and just not be judged and get it out. I respect that shit. Thank you very much, Bloomy. I respect you." Adam Carmona says, "When my car broke down, I got confused and called Triple H." You have Triple H on speed dial, Adam Carmona? I know. I mean, I was I'm a wrestling fan, so yeah, I get it. I'm going to use that line with my son, Drifter says. Thank you both for being Monster Squad members. Really appreciate it. Marth Murang, who's in chat, says, "At first I thought the whole CIA informant was ridiculous. Now I'm thinking for who's Church of Scientology, I don't know anymore. If he beats all the charges, I don't know if I won't believe it." And you reserve that right, Marth. If he gets away with any of this shit, then you have to question everything. Eric Raiders in chat, what's up, buddy? Nice to have you there. Appreciate you. Uh, let's see. Janet from another planet, welcome. Nice to have you here. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I don't do the drum roll that I reserved that for our great bard Nomfic. But if you want to, please. It takes 2 seconds. It's free. Victoria Miles says, "Can you post the link for Pup Groomer's channel, please?" In which Ellie definitely provided that. Thank you very much, Ellie. And Drifter did as well. Thank you very much. Drain Mudvayne says, "I love Mudvayne." Says, "Other than the start, most of what you're filming is Denver County Jail. The woman's is over the back." Yeah, I should have reversed the title. That was an old video, Drain Mudvayne. But thank you for watching it, and thank you for commenting. I appreciate it. That was an interesting video. It takes me way back. Naturally neutral with another comment here says, "Question: Can someone please help me understand what it means? If a person suspected of committing multiple swatting calls over several months has 4 mobile phones and a laptop confiscated by the LA police in regards to this, and is told he is the number one suspect, also a police officer at one of the swattings tells a protester that the person getting swatted actually swatted himself, then that person tells his supporters that he single-handedly stopped the swattings from happening. What was the suggestion? What was he suggesting by making that statement? Was he suggesting that he decided to stop making the calls? That's how he single-handedly did what an entire police force couldn't do. Yet after getting his phones back, that same person proceeds to tell his supporters that all the swatting calls stopped after the LA police returned his phones. What was he suggesting by making that statement? Was he suggesting that it was the LA police making the swatting calls using his phones? And now he has the phones back. The calls can't be made by the LA police anymore. Does anybody have any clue as to what he is actually saying with those two entirely different storylines? Rad Tiger says someone should make a condensed video showing all of those things, like the police saying he swatted himself, the police meeting where they said they have a suspect already, the video where he said he stopped the swattings. I have seen all those videos, but they are spread out over so many different videos. But seeing all the evidence put together at once is quite eye-opening. And then naturally, neutrally says, "Yes, you're spot on," etc. Ah, man, hold on. I need to take a drink, y'all. That's a lot right there. Um, Come to your own conclusions on that. We've discussed the swattings in detail. And I truly believe that he has something to do with those swattings. That's just my feeling. Brenda, the last Antifa Queen standing, says, "Hey, MLH and chat." What's up, Brenda? Nice to have you here. Real Sassafras, welcome. He absolutely swatted Becky and I and everyone else too. I don't have tangible proof of that, Sassafras, but you can put two and two together, right? All right. Thank you for the comment. I really appreciate that. Okay, now here we go. On my quick announcement stream where I announced the departure of Ferry on DT, Kit Kat says, Ferry, you can join us on Red's channel anytime. See you there, hopefully. Dang right, Riddle says. Julie says, Ferry's truth very strong, standing up for your beliefs and not cowering. All right. This isn't a Ferry versus MLH thing. I want to get that out there first and foremost. Okay. I made the decision on my own, as I explained before. This was not a decision based on Ferry's stance that Red was not guilty of abusing his daughter. This was a decision based on what she did after that. That was concerning to me. Okay. So let me address this further with the whole Red thing. Red went on live last night and declared war on the channel and said a bunch of nasty things about Ellie and myself, which by the way, he has no receipts for. So let me just tell you guys all this, okay? Multiple things can be true at the same time, okay? Red, whether or not he you know did anything with his daughter, all right, can be true either way, right? I've seen stuff on both sides of that aisle, but let's assume that he didn't do anything to his daughter. I have never claimed that Red did anything to his daughter on this channel, nor will I ever unless I have 100% tangible proof in front of my face from multiple sources. Okay, I would never accuse somebody of such a vile act unless I knew 100% that it was true. Okay. Let's assume that he didn't do it. Okay. You can be innocent of molesting your daughter, Red, but you can also be a very vile and nasty human being that does vile and nasty things to other people. What you did to Ellie last night was unconscionable. I'm a man. I can take it. I don't give a fuck, you know, but everything that you said about myself and Ellie last night was completely and utterly ridiculous, and I think people can see that. There will be no war between Red's channel and the MLH channel because I won't allow it. You can try, you can come on over, you can bring your trolls, and it's not going to matter to me. My mods are very well equipped to just quickly jettison people out that they feel necessary to jettison out. Okay. My chat rules are very clear. Every time you've been in my chat, you've been very respectful of others, except for a couple of times where comments were deleted. The same with Red Mama. I have nothing against Red Mama. Red Mama's been nothing but nice in my chat. Hasn't attacked other people until just recently. There was some dissension between a few chatters. None of that is going to go on in my chat. So if the pirates want a war, okay, they're going to find a ship with no way to board, is the best way that I can put it. So there is no war between my channel and another channel, whether it's Red or anybody else. I want no part of it. Multiple things can be true at the same time. And Red, you showed your true colors last night. Okay. So nobody here is accusing you of anything. All right. That can or cannot be true. I mean, like I said, I've seen no evidence to suggest that, you know, at least tangible evidence right in my face. I've had people tell me that you did do it. I've had people tell me that you didn't do it. I have no fight in that. Okay, no skin in that game. All right. So what I'm saying is, there's no war, right? You said a bunch of vile, nasty things about me and Ellie, but one thing I do know, Red, is I always have the truth on my side. Okay? So that's what I'm going to tell you. No war from me. You know, if you plan on coming on over and causing all kinds of dissension, it's not going to work. And I wish you the best on your channel, right? And I hope you leave my channel alone and my chatters alone. All right. Everybody's welcome here as long as they're respectful towards each other. This will be, and you will not derail this, nor will anybody else. So this isn't just applying to you. Nobody will derail my safe chat. Okay. So that's what I got to say about that. Cinderella says, love you both, not my business. I know nothing about anything. Thank you for taking that stance, Cinderella. I don't want to put my chatters or my subscribers in the middle of anything. So you do you. Club Brain Fox says, I'm not going anywhere. Thank you very much. Um, Excellent decision. Chip's mom says, pirate purging is good for your soul and your numbers. I didn't purge a pirate. Fairy is not a pirate. I don't have anything bad to say about Fairy. She went on other channels and said a lot of weird things or didn't say anything at all, which says a lot. And all I got to say is the truth always rises. And I have no worries whatsoever in that regard. Okay. Kit Kat says, Angie, she never said that. Now stop the drama. I don't know what you're talking about there, Kit Kat. She don't belong with this Scientology movement. Angie's for drama. MLH needs to boot her, or the drama will get worse. I'm not involved in any drama. Okay, the drama is done. It ends. Today is it. That's it. We have a peaceful chat, and it'll always be that way. I'm focusing on one thing and one thing only: is seeing that DOA goes to prison. Okay, and it's looking like it's heading that way, and I'll talk about that in a minute. All right. Ingrid says, don't follow any of those people. I'm here because of Scientology. And now the mess that one person brought to most of the creators. Have always enjoyed Fairy in the chats, and I'm sure I still will. MLH, you should always control your channel the way you picture it to be for the long run. You two were funny together, so hopefully it's just a shift in the wind until the dust settles. That's how I feel, Ingrid. And thank you for saying that. That's exactly how I feel. Look, this was a business decision. Okay. I can't have somebody going into other chats and saying stuff that is untrue, right? When and in the same breath, telling us something completely different. So there's no drama. It's over. I'm moving on. That's it. Ginger said, sad to see Fairy go. We all are. All of us are sad to see Fairy go. Ginger, thank you for saying that. All the while, your choice is respected. I have no idea what happened. Be well. And that's the way that it should be, Ginger. I know that there are going to be people that really enjoyed what Fairy brought to the table, and that's their choice whether or not they stay or not. I've never, I'm like Rabbit. I'm not. I mean, it's not an airport. You don't have to announce your arrival or departure, especially your departure. Okay. So, like I said, the truth always rises. So, I'm always on the right side of things. So, okay, here we go. Whatever you said, this is just a long. Okay, there's 45. Okay. Can you point on to a timestamp from your previous stream where Fairy made her announcement? It's a 2-hour stream, so not easy for me to find her announcement. Her announcement was quickly that Red didn't molest his daughter, and I will fight anybody that says otherwise. And then she took that and she ran with it in other chats, and the announcement was concerning enough, but that wasn't what swayed my decision and my decision alone. What happened was she took it to other chats and made something public that should have never have been public. So that's it. I suspect it has something to do with the announcement made regarding a primary color. I could be wrong. Yes, I don't see it. Surreal said it's there. I'm not imagining this. It did happen. It has nothing to do with that. If you listen to MLH, it has something to do with chat room drama. I guess she was involved with the wrong people and bringing other channels' drama to this channel, which is a cardinal sin in the YouTube world. You don't bring other dramas into my chat or go to other chats and bring our name into it. Okay, so yes, you're right. Lead me to the bliss. Thank you for listening. Whatever you say is likely correct. I said I suspect, and I could be wrong, and that's only possible controversial announcement I remember. Yes, so that was it. Southern Yankee says, your show, your decision. Fairy will be missed. I agree. We all will miss Fairy because she brought something unique to the table. But the show must go on. Thursday Before Two says, I miss the ripples. Well, they're in other chats, and I don't like it. So I have to do what's best for my channel, y'all. I hope you guys all understand. King Bluto with the $2 super after the fact. That's the first one I think I've ever gotten, Bluto. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and thank you for being part of the Monster Squad as always, and thank you for your $2 super thanks. Flea says it right. Private conversations were made public. And now some streamers are talking about things that were told in confidence, things that have absolutely nothing to do with the red situation. This hurts. Absolutely, Flea. Um, you know, I'm just I'm disappointed more than anything, and I have a right to be. Blue Unicorn says war. Good God, y'all, what's it good for? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely, there is no war. There's no wars. Period. I won't have it. My second time listening to it, trying to figure things out, get my drift. I love this group. I agree, Kelly. And we love you and thank you for being the part of the Monster Squad. There's nothing to figure out. Okay? Everything is out there. Some things were made public that should have never been public on other channels. I'm not bringing it into my chat. My chat is always going to be a safe place. This is your channel, and your decisions are yours to make. Very sorry this happened for all concerned. I am too, Beach. And I said as much. Great stream, J Bat said. Thank you very much, J Batty. And thank you, J Bat, for being a Monster Squad member. I really appreciate it. I know you're a mod, but I do appreciate the membership as well. Okay. Great show as always. Sending Ellie light, love and hugs, and we all should. She's been subjected to so much over the years. You guys have no idea. Pippi, you're the best, CSA Shannon says. I love Pippi. CSA Shannon with some emojis. Pippi, you're one of the only people who has the courage to stand for us, up for us fearlessly and unapologetically. You're a hero in my book. I've called Pippi a superstar several times. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Chris on the drums, my dude, says, Ellie, take all the time you need to take care of yourself. The people who love you understand why you're doing it. And excuse me, we'll be here with open arms when you come back. Your health and mental well-being is most important for you and your family. We'll see you when you return. Love always. This I will say this will most likely will be in an extended time away for Ellie because she does need it. She's been working tirelessly and nonstop for over 4 years for me with no compensation. Ellie has never taken a penny from me, any money. Um, and it is taxing and I wish her the best and I hope when she comes back she'll be better than ever. There's Nompic with his drum roll. Yeah, we can do better than 56 likes, y'all. KT Pita says, replay here. Hey, remember the DOA fan that came on your panel a while back? She had a DOA calendar to sell you for 4K. Well, imagine how much you'd get for DOA's ankle monitor with his DNA on it. Ooh, who would pay for that though? Like his grannies, his Social Security grannies. That would be something else. Watching live stream says Duck Duck Goose. Oh, is that what he was doing watching live streams? Playing Duck Duck Goose? Yeah, I think so. King Bluto, prayers for Ellie. Thank you very much, Bluto. Appreciate that. Bluto's been with the channel for a very long time. Thank you very much, Bluto. Pippi says MLH is a true stand-up man. I appreciate that, Pippi. This week has been one of the hardest on the channel. I will say that. So thank you for that. The only drama I want to see is seeing Chumley crumble. I agree, Kim May. I totally agree. Um, Elron, MLH and Ellie with a bunch of heart emojis. Thank you very much, Elron. Janet from another planet, who I think is still in chat. Yes, she is. Um, Ellie, hugs to you. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Sending good wishes to you. There's a whole other world behind the scenes that us viewers know nothing about. I wish the best for all. And so do I, Janet. I don't, I don't want any part of any war or any drama outside of what we're presenting to you guys on the screen. Buttercup with the Ellie praying emojis and hugs. Thank you very much, Buttercup. She needs all the support she can get. Anna from Canada, the lovely Anna from Canada says, for those who are in pain, keep moving forward. Even if it takes you the whole day to take a step, take that step. You must keep moving forward. I've learned a hard lesson from my father, a strong 55-year-old man that stopped moving forward. I have a mountain of pain there that I am not willing to share at the moment. My father was a good man, husband, and father. You must move forward. If you stop moving forward, you die. I truly believe this. Anna from Canada. Thank you, Anna. Appreciate that. I can truly say I feel your pain and your message is pure gold and one I needed to see. Kelly says, thank you. Just thank you. And I'm so sorry. I'm also dealing with the passing of my mother, Dougie says. Dementia taking over my father. Very wise words you speak, Anna. Thank you. I agree. And Dougie, thank you for sharing your current pain. Um, Sucks. And I know what you're going through, buddy. And Anna, thank you for the comment. Real Sassafras with the $5 super sticker. Thank you very much, Sassafras. I really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you for being a Monster Squad member as well. Um, let's see. Let's continue on here. Kelly with another comment says, "Replay crew, life can be sad. It is rough when it feels like there are way more valleys than peaks. When I laugh, I have a moment of relief. I know there are lots of us in need of relief, and I also know we can come here to find it. Thank you, MLH, DT crew, mods, and chat for many moments of relief that you've given me and others. Much love." Thank you very much, Kelly. Those are very kind words, and onwards and upwards, like that stream said. Cinderella says, "Ellie, I care about you. You're strong for making the decision for yourself. I, for one, will be here waiting for you to get yourself better. Go get a massage. You deserve many." Heart emojis. Thank you very much, Cinderella. Yes, she does. I wish there was a way I could make that happen, Cinderella. But like I said, Ellie doesn't take any money from me, and she never has taken money from me. Doug 652, our good buddy Dougie, says, "We meet friends in so many places in today's world, and sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. I feel safer when Ellie is around. I know what Jay from Denver meant when he said he trusted Ellie so much that he would put his life in her hands. Ellie, thank you for always having my back and making my job as a panel jock a lot easier. But most of you are my friends. I am loyal to those who treat me with respect, honor, honesty, and integrity. Ellie, you're a great friend during some hard times in my life. I will never forget that. I am your friend. I am always here for you, Ellie." There, did I write this correctly? Laughing emojis. Well, you have to run it by her, Dougie. I mean, that's the way it is. Club Brain Fog, welcome. Nice to have you here. Rib Guy, welcome. I try to every time I try to get on Discord, something like this happens. Third try, I'm done with Discord. In a weird way, I'm glad I know nothing about this. Well, that's the way it should be. Babo, welcome. Nice to have you here. Uh, okay. Let's see if we got any held comments. We do. All right. Lone Dinosaur says, yes, he's always been a racist. You have to really listen and not give him the benefit of the doubt if it's all a joke or satire. I don't think it is. I also think he's just a dick that needs to sow chaos and dissent wherever he goes. He wants these protests to fail. So maybe someone is paying him, or maybe he's very mentally ill and self-motivated, in my opinion. Or maybe it could be a combination of both. All right. Let's go to Public, see if we got rid of those. 2 minutes ago, Pooh says, "Ellie, sometimes social media gets overwhelming. I sometimes need a break myself. Sending hugs. Take care of you." Oh, I didn't acknowledge that. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go back here. Go back to held, apply there. And he shouldn't even say the N-word anyway, or any pronunciation. It doesn't matter how he's saying it. He's a white dude from West Virginia, I think. You don't say it even if you're singing a song. He's an a-hole. I would agree with that 100%. Okay. Let's go back here. Go back to publish. Make sure there's nothing there. Make sure there's no more helds. Yeah, we're good. Okay, let's see if there's any mentions. If I got any mentions. Mentions is a good way to promote this channel, y'all. It's very underutilized by a lot of people. So if you do have a channel and you like what I'm doing, that would be a good way of getting out to your supporters that, you like what I'm doing here, and maybe others should take a peek. We're on our way to 7,000, folks, which is a big milestone for me. Favor of fair use. Let's see. I don't know what this is in regards to, but I'll check it out after Ghost Soldiers. Darren Harris, also known as Boss Talks Living His Truth at his favorite spot, the pumping station. I have no idea what that means. Boss Talk got tased. This is all new to me. I don't I don't know anything about that. It just looks like somebody's got a hard on for Boss Talks. So there you go. Boss Talks mentioned me. Appreciate that. And Afila mentioned me. Thank you very much, Afila. I just used the needle for clickbait. I did hear that, and I did see it on your stream, Afila. Thank you for that. It's pretty good. Pretty good little clip there from Doss's stream. So, hey, Big Chief, nice to have you in there, Hefe. This is a fun channel. Watching live streams says. Thank you very much. Watching live stream. Brian Lucas, thank you for being here. Mandy, welcome on in. Thank you for being here as well. Yes, Fuzzy, I know. I'm almost done, I promise. Okay. Those are all the mentions, I believe. Let's see. Cat Ocean mentioned me with something. I don't know what it is. Let me just take a quick peek here. Oh, yeah, it was about okay, let's quickly address that. Let's get out of here. Let's quickly address this Chumley thing here. I can get rid of this now. It's just me up here. All right. So everybody was on that side of things over on DOA's camp was super excited about yesterday's thing, because the judge was having a hard time with the hate crime part of the felonies, right? So the DA, in a very slick move, dismissed all of the five remaining felonies that were going on, right? But they added five, they elevated five of the misdemeanors to felonies, and three of them carry mandatory sentencing because they are constitutional felonies, which are a whole um, set of different problems for Chumley. And the smiles after he got they dismissed um, the five felony hate crime ones quickly dissipated when this happened. So, um, why would you go to Dodge's, Marina, when I'm giving you the skinny here? You see what I'm saying? I mean, Dodge doesn't always get it. Actually, Dodge hardly gets anything right, but that's a whole different animal, including him calling me a character. I really wish you would retract that, Dodge. I'm not a character. I'm a human being with a channel who always has multiple sources. Dodge, something that most journalists wish they had. Um, so constitutional felonies, y'all. Let's talk a little bit about these. These are really hard to get out of, right? Not saying he's not going to get out of it. I mean, depends on his lawyer's performance for the most part, I think. That's if he can pay his lawyer, which he's already grifting for money. What happened to the other money, Scott, that you were supposed to use for this case? Right? It's a perfectly valid question to ask. I can, with receipts, prove that you got about 30,000. I think that estimate is up more about 60,000. Okay. Um, Thank you, old Frizz. Just want to say I support Ellie. Since Denver J days, she proved to be a wonderful mod. I'm sorry she was misunderstood after the encampment because of untrue rumors. She doesn't deserve all that again. Thank you for saying that, old Frizz. So these constitutional felonies are going to be really hard to shake, y'all. I can't wait to see all the penal codes on them. Okay. I don't have any update on that. Um, I will keep you guys abreast of everything, updated, accurate, like unlike some other channels. Um, you know, stuff like that. There's no jumping on this panel, Nurse D. This is just me. This is the comment show. Um, Yeah, Flea put the email address to the DA there. So if anybody wants to, you know, anybody know the PC statutes? MLH, you mentioned three had mandatory sentencing. Does that mean two are different charges? They're all felony charges. There were five misdemeanors, Axel, that were elevated from misdemeanor to felony, whether or not, so that means there's still 11 misdemeanors. I don't know if they dropped all those misdemeanors. My feeling is I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. I don't want to give you guys inaccurate information on that. Um uh so until I know for sure, I won't let you in. But what I do, I'll let you know. But what I will say that I know for sure is three of them are constitutional felony violations, and those carry a lot of weight. What the mandatory sentencing is, see, what that means is the judge can't say, okay, you're guilty of this, but I'm going to give you a slap on the wrist, 10 days in jail type thing. Whatever it is, whether it's a year, 180 days, 2 years, whatever it is, that's what it's going to be. And until I have the penal codes, I can't tell you exactly um, what they are. So as soon as that updates, I will let you know. So how did Dad Ant know they were felonies in advance of court? You'd have to ask Dad Ant that, Axel. I don't know is the answer. And Dad Ant doesn't always get everything right. He's been fairly accurate as of late, but um, wait till you see the actual charges, and I will, like I said, give you guys as much information as I can possibly give you. So, Stinky Cat, PC 422.55. Yeah, but what's the mandatory sentencing? I don't know yet. So, charge one stayed the same. That's true. 2 through 6 were replaced with five pinpointed charges. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Uh, Rib guy. Yep. No worries, Axel. I got you. Uh, yeah, it'd be nice to hear it from attorney Nurse D. I agree, but I will say, Nurse D, once we get the penal codes that are there, because they will be. I mean, it's public information, so um, it just hasn't been updated yet, and I'll give you more. Thank you. I appreciate that, old Frizz. I'm definitely not a lawyer, and I never will claim to be, but I've been involved peripherally in many cases in and around the Denver metro area. So, I mean, I kind of know of the way that the flow works in the legal system. And someone made a comment earlier, forgive me for forgetting who it was, about I think it was Linda Wilson actually that made the comment that the wheels of justice are really slow turning. And in this case, it's that way too. So I don't expect him to go to trial until maybe mid next year. So we'll be at this for a while. So you know what I mean. So it does take a while to update. So um, mandatory sentence 1 to 3 years each charge, Axel says. So what I'm hoping is that he gets convicted, especially on those three and the violent offense that he got for the Motley Crue thing, and they run those consecutively, not concurrently. I want him to spend at least 2 years in jail, y'all. I would prefer 6 to 9 would sounds really good to me, because then we would never have to worry about Chumley again, even when he got out. Oh, and here's another, I guess, added bonus to those mandatory sentencing guidelines. You can't get probation on any of those. So let's say it's 3 years for each, and you have to run them consecutive. That's 9 years. You're spending 9 years. There's no good behavior For 7 years, none of that. So there you go. All right. I think that's going to do it, guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. If you're struggling with your mental health, please reach out to somebody that you know, love, and trust. In lieu of that, my email is MexicanLonghair@gmail.com. Not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a counselor, but I do listen, and sometimes that helps. But if I don't get back to you in a timely fashion, just remember somebody out there thinks you are their favorite. Hold on to that thought. It could save your life. There is a national hotline, actually a North American hotline. That number is 988, three simple digits. If you're a veteran, type in one after you dial that number, and that'll get you connected to somebody that can help you immediately. If you're not in North America, type in your browser of choice, mental health help, click on any of those options, and they'll get you connected with somebody that can help you out. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Thank you for your support. I love you all. And I'll see you guys on Monday for DT. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Stay safe, everybody. As I'm uh, looking frantically for my sound clip. You guys have a great one. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy it. It's beautiful here in Denver. If you need to get a hold of me, you guys know my email. Later, everybody.